Hi, fifth grade. It's Mrs. Brand. It's time for our lesson today, lesson 92. We're going to be talking more about division today. So let's take a look at some ideas of what we're looking at. So when we have bigger numbers, like we're dividing by 2-digit or more numbers here, we have 180 divided by 12. Well, we can start by making it a little bit simpler on ourselves and asking ourselves, how many 12s can I get out of 18? So you want to think about 18 divided by 12. You think about 18 divided by 12. Well, I know I can only get 1 out of there. So I'm going to start by putting 1 up here and see if that works. 1 times 12 is 12. I subtract, and I have 6 left over. Now, I might have to, well, I've got to take down my 0 here, but sometimes it puts us in the area of where we should be. Sometimes we're going to try, and maybe we know a few, maybe we know, maybe somewhere between this and that, we have to figure it out. We're somewhere in the ballpark. Like, I know if I look at how many 12s can I get out of 60, it's not going to be more than 7, because 10 times 7 is 70, so it has to be less than 7. Excuse me. So let's take a look at what we do have. How many 12s can I get out of 60? Well, I think of my 12s, and I think of 12 times 3 is 36. And then I can go 12 times 4, add another 12 onto this, and we get 48. 12 times 5, add another 12 onto that, that gives me 60, which is actually the number I want, so then 5 is my number I can put up here. Then I do 5 times 12 is 60, subtract, and I have 0 remainder. We want to start looking at checking our answers too. So let's do that. Let's go back and check our answer using multiplication. So I have 15 times 12. 2 times 5 is 10, carry my 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. I'm done with that 1. I'm done with that 2. Remember, we put a 0 down here because there's no other numbers in the ones place. 1 times 5 is 5, and then 1 times 1 is 1. Add that together, 0, 8, 1, which is what I started with. If I had any remainders, I would add the remainder on after I finish the main problem. And that should get me to my answer then. And so we have 180, so that's correct. Now, let's look over here. Use the trick of breaking your problem into a smaller problem. So instead of doing how many 32s can I get out of 97, I'm just going to start with the first digit, 3 and 9. How many 3s can I get out of 9? Well, I know I can get 3 out of there, so I'm going to try 3 right up above here. 3, and so then I would do like that. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. Sister subtract. 1 left over. Brother in town, so bring him on down. Well, now this is easy because I know that I cannot get any groups of 32 out of 12. No 32s out of 12, so put that 0 up there. Oops, that's what we don't want to do. That's when we get too quick and then we do something wrong. So let's go back. Alright, so 0 times 32 is 0. And then subtract, we have 12 left over, so my remainder is 12. I'm going to make sure my remainder is less than what's knocking on the door. And then we're going to do our math. So I'm going to put 30 on the bottom because it has a 0 there. And the 32 up at the top. Drop my 0 off to the side. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. And then I add my 12 in because it's the remainder. 0 and 2 is 2. 6 and 1 is 7. And 9 and nothing is 9. 972. I started out with 972, so then my answer would be correct. Alright, we're just going to practice 2 more of these to see how this looks. So I'm going to look at just how many 12s can I get out of 25. So I think of, you can actually kind of think of how many ones can I get out of 2 at this point, but you know your 12s hopefully, so you know that you can get 2 out of there. 2 times 12 is 24. Subtract. Sometimes we have ones like this that'll be a little bit easier for us. How many 12s can I get out of 13? 1. 1 times 12 is 12. Subtract, we have 1 left over, remainder of 1. So we're going to check our answer. I'm going to put my 12 on the bottom, my 21 on top. You can do it either way. It's going to get you the same answer. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Done with my 2. My 0 has to go here. Remember, whenever you're going to go to that tens column, you have to put that 0 there. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Add them together, and you get 252. But I have 1 remainder, so I have to add that 1 remainder in there, and that's where I get my 253. All right, one last practice one. Whoops. Go back here. All right, one last practice one. So this one, I want to say how many 3s can I get out of 4? I can get 1. 1 times 31 is 31. Subtract, cross out my 4, make it a 3, this becomes a 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. Bring down my 3. Now I'm going to ask myself, how many 3s can I get out of 9? Okay, don't start right away going, okay, let me do 30, 30. No, just start with the front end, just trick. How many 3s can you get out of 9? 3. That 3 is going to go up on top. 3 times 31 gives us 93. So it's 13 with the remainder of 0. Double check our work. 13 times 31. 0 in the corner. It's going to give us 3. 10 carried by 1, 403. Okay. So basically what I want you to come out of this lesson thinking about is taking that first digit, dividing it by this first digit. Then when you get down here, taking this digit, dividing it by this first digit. And that gets you where you need to be when it comes to these larger numbers, instead of thinking of the whole 31 or the whole 12 or whatever. Okay? Your worksheet for today, if you look at it, it has 9 questions on there. They're all the long division, but want you to use that first digit trick that I just taught you to help you get into that. You can do those on a separate sheet of paper and then just write your answer in the box. That's the best way to do that because there's definitely not enough space to do all the problems there. So just write your problems on a separate sheet of paper, do the math, put your answer in the box, and then attach your paper that you did your work on with your homework when you turn it in to me. Okay? Just one little quick trick for writing out homework like that. Let's see if I can find lined paper in my thing here, and I'll show you a quick trick to that. And I think it really does help when we do things like this. So let's get a notebook paper, large lined paper. Is that what I want? Let's see. Okay, so this would be like your normal paper, right? I'm going to see if I can find it not in a background because I can't move it if it's not if it's a background. Well, I'll just explain it to you then because obviously I don't have it in another thing like that. Okay, so you have your lined paper like this. If you just turn your paper sideways, you can use it as, and it's going to look strange up here because I have a tablet I'm using that I can do that. I can turn it sideways. But I can write my whole thing in here, like 3, 4, 21. You can use those lines. Turn your head sideways, you can see what I'm talking about. You can use those lines to match up your columns, and it's going to help in not having things be off. You can do that with multiplication too. It works so well so that you have your columns lined up. So that's basically what that would look like if I could turn my whole paper sideways, which you can do at home. You can't turn I'm not going to turn my computer screen sideways, but that would work like that. And you can do the same with multiplication, addition, subtraction. Use your paper the other direction, and you have automatically built-in columns for you. Okay? I miss you guys. I hope things are going well. And like I said, if you have questions, ask, redo the video, that type of thing. I'll also meet with you one-on-one in Zoom time or any other way you want to, so that we can get your homework the way that it should be. Take care and have a good day.